Welcome to the 7-Step Pathway to Profit Formula series. My name is Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO, and throughout this series, we'll explore the 80-20 rule and how it can result in more time freedom and consistent profits. Each episode will break down key strategies to boost efficiency, increase profits, and help you get your time back. Let's dive in and start your journey to more time freedom and consistent profits.
Step 3 of the 7-step pathway to profit formula is focusing on closing rates. Now, once again, the conversion formula comes into play by utilizing the fourth component of the conversion formula, which is the close. And the close needs to be compelling. I don't like to talk about the close needing to be compelling without reviewing the 5 components of a compelling offer. In order to close, which is the third step, and you need to focus on these things. Now, remember, we have leads, conversions, and closing rates that need to be focused on. To help you with your close, your offer needs to be compelling. So the 5 components of the compelling offer is number 1, scarcity and urgency. Now, scarcity is when you proclaim that there's a limited availability of your product. For example, there are only 3 hairbrushes left. That's scarcity. There's only a few left. So they better hurry and buy whatever's remaining. Urgency is when you put a time limit on the offer. You know, when I was in the ski business, our most successful sales were 4 days that would start on Thursday and end on Sunday. In one of those sales, we consistently did $1 million in business in 4 days because the deals that were not only great, but there was urgency in getting there in those 4 days. And there was the intensity of scarcity because when those key products, those focused products run out, that's it. It's over. You can't get them anymore. I should say those promotional products. When those promotional products run out, it's over. So urgency and scarcity was really something that we paid attention to in retail because that attracted a lot of attention. And then there's the risk reversal, where the seller takes all or most of the risk. And I usually give my ski guarantee example here, but I have construction clients that give 5-year warranties on their work. And these guarantees are real differentiators because most people in the construction business, they don't even guarantee their work for a year. These guarantees, like a 5-year warranty on construction work, that closes a lot of sales. The other day, I actually heard an ad for a psychic service. This is a service that predicts the future. And they said, if the prediction that they make does not come true, you get your money back.
Wow.
I couldn't believe my ears. I had to hear it a couple times, but yeah, that was what they said. They said, if the prediction that they give to the customer doesn't come true, you get your money back. It's just unbelievable. That's a risk reversal, and that's pretty compelling. So the third component of a compelling offer is adding low cost, but high value to a product or service. You know, like for example, here's an example. A toothpaste company would put a QR code on their tube of toothpaste that leads to a video that shows people 4 areas inside their mouth that are most neglected while brushing their teeth and the best way to brush those areas. So information is a wonderful way to add more value, and that's a perfect example of that. And then the fourth component of a compelling offer is packaging and bundling multiple products and services together. A package provides a strong perception of value. And then finally, the fifth is indifference to the outcome. You know, the prospect can tell when you're pressing to make a sale. And as a result, they surmise that you don't have their best interests in mind. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. So by being indifferent to the outcome, it puts you and your prospect on the same side of the table. And getting to know the person in terms of their inspirations, goals, and objectives helps with this process. And then step 4 is to focus on client retention and customer retention. And by the way, Chucky, what I found in our interviews is this is one of the most neglected steps by business owners, because when they get a customer, and I do the same thing, when we get customers, we take it for granted that once they're a customer, that we'll have them by default and keep them. But nothing could be further from the truth. We have a saying at Next Step CFO, you're only as good as the value you brought in your last meeting.
Wow. Michael, look, break that down further. I think that's a really insightful point.
Yeah, well, what that means is you're not adding value or working towards adding value with every delivery of product or service, then you run the risk of losing the customer. You're going to continuously add value and work towards adding value. You know, when you think about it, no matter how established a brand is, they always strive for product improvement, whether it's product or service improvement. If you look at the Fortune 500 companies, they all have huge research and development departments, millions of dollars.
Good old R&D.
R&D, right. That's all adding more value. Yeah, that's not standing still and just expecting the customer's going to keep buying from you.
It's interesting. There's a comment here, a quasi question, Michael. Just this idea of the rejection that comes with trial and error, right? So you might try something that doesn't work in the marketplace. And as a very busy business owner, how do you contend with that, right? And, if we sort of contrast that with like a large Fortune 500 operation where they've got a whole, like you said, R&D department where they're just churning things out. Some things work, some things don't work. A small business owner may not have that luxury. So any reactions to that?
Right. The big companies have all these, I don't know, firms that they hire to get all kinds of market research. And we small business owners don't have that luxury. But what we do have the luxury of doing is testing. And the beautiful thing about testing is you don't have to test your entire market. You just have to test a few customers.
Yeah, a subset of that market.
Yeah, that's all. It's not like when you're testing, you have to, in order for us to really find out if this is really adding more value, we have to try it with everyone and commit to everyone. You don't. That's the beautiful thing. You can test it, whether it's an ad, whether it's a messaging, whether it's the conversion formula, whether it's position of market dominance. Yeah. You can test it, but you don't have to test it full scale. Just test it with a few customers, see what the reaction is. I think that's something that we small business owners can certainly do. And other ways to retain clients and customers is giving them calls to see if you can provide any assistance, showing your gratitude even in one form or another. It's just another way to keep that customer. We just can't take customer retention for granted. And as you probably have heard from many, many, many in the past, it's much more cost effective to keep an existing customer than to find a new one.
Absolutely.
That wraps up another part of our series. If you're enjoying these tips, hit that subscribe button and follow along for the next episode. We're just getting started on your journey to time freedom and consistent profits. Thanks for watching.